Alright guys, this is J.O.A.T.D. Today what we're going to do is we are changing the gasket and the filters on my 2006 Dodge Ram 1500. My Dodge Ram is a 5.7 liter, so the transmission pan has 15 bolts around it, okay? So I went to AutoZone and they have like two different ones. One has 13 bolts and the other one has 15. So mine is the 15 bolt pattern. And all I did was go under the bottom of the truck and count these individual bolts, and there were 15 of them. So I got the 15 bolt kit one. Basically what I'm doing right now is I took loose the first set of screws. I took loose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I took loose 9 screws, okay? And what that's doing is that's making it so that it'll start to drip, you know, from the front. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work my way back to the back and keep loosening them until it kind of droops down in the front and let it pour from the pan into my collector right there, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to take loose a couple more bolts. I'm not actually taking them out, I'm just taking them loose, and eventually work my way back to the ones in the back. I'm going to leave the ones in the back still down a little low just to make it droop down in the front. So all these bolts going all the way around the pan are 10 millimeter. Alright guys, so I got the drip started. Like I said I was gonna do, I took out all the bolts all the way around. I left the ones in the back, and you can see it's pouring out in the corner right here. Let's see. I did put a bag down just in case the wind's kind of blowing right now, so I put a bag down just in case some of the fluid got on the ground. I didn't want it to get on the ground. I'm doing it in my driveway, so I didn't want it stained with transmission fluid. But it is dripping right now, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back here to the back. Let me get the light. Go back into the back, and I'm gonna loosen the ones in the back, but not actually take them out. As you can see, I got my ratchet right here. You're gonna see the pan kind of droop a little. Show you what I'm talking about. See it coming down, and that's what you want to create. You want to create the drooping effect so that the transmission fluid can pour out of the pan as much as you can get it. And like I said, I left those screws or bolts in the back. They're still in there. You see the 3? They're still in there. And I'm just loosening the bolts. And then once it's not dripping anymore, I'm gonna take it off. Alright guys, so I got the pan off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this drip some more. Then I'm going to take out the filter here and the filter here and let it drain some more. And then all of this, you know, leftover gasket and stuff that's all the way around it, I'm gonna clean that off real good from the oil pan itself and the bottom of the transmission. Alright guys, so to get this filter off, I have this little filter extraction tool here. Lefty. We're gonna turn it to the left, so you slide it on, and as soon as you pull it back a little bit more, as soon as you get it, it'll grab it and turn it. You saw that? See it turning it? Alright, so that's loose. And what you want to do is make sure that when you take this loose, you got your pan up under, because it's gonna come out just like the oil does with an oil cap. See it coming out? pretty long. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, got all of my gloves, but it's okay. Then we're gonna take that one out, and then after we take that out, we're gonna take off the other filter here. As you can see, that filter goes up in that hole right there. Okay. As soon as we let it drip out a little bit more, we'll go back to it. What we need to do is take this filter off, and the only way to get this filter off, it's a T25 bolt that's right here, and I have this little small ratchet, and I'm just gonna stick it right here and take that out. And then once I get that loose, we're gonna pull it down and pull it out of this boot area right here. This whole arm will come out. Okay. Alright, so I got the bolt out. You can see it's separated right there. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab this whole thing. Now it may be fluid in here, so make sure that when you pull it out, it may pour out of this hole here or just out of here from tilting it. So when you pull this off, just make sure you got something to be able to pour, catch everything. So let's see. Alright, so we got that off too. Now, as you can see really close up in there, it's a gasket in here. I'm gonna see if the replacement that I bought has that gasket. It should, but I don't know. I haven't opened it. So we're gonna check that. Guys, so this is the new filter here that's going in there. It's a Duralast. Got the new filter that's going in. It did come with that little gasket that I was talking about that's gonna go here. So my best bet is to put this on first and then slide it up in there so that this will seat properly. Okay, and then this is the gasket that's gonna go around my transmission pan. Okay, so I'm still gonna have to get this out because it's like leaking everywhere right now. So I'm gonna pour all the rest of this out. I gotta clean up my area and then I'll get back with you guys. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to remove the old gasket. As you can see, it comes off fairly easy. Once I remove this gasket, I'm gonna clean the area around the pan. I'm gonna clean the whole pan off, to be honest with you. Always check the magnet here. See all that? You can see that magnetized metal on there. Clean all that off too. That's just shavings from the gears rubbing against each other. It's not a lot on there, but it does need to be cleaned off. So it's gonna help with me changing the transmission fluid. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this gasket, clean this whole thing up. Alright guys, so I got the oil pan all cleaned up. I have put the gasket on the oil pan. The easiest way to do this is to just put the screws through the pan and kind of screw it just a little bit into the gasket. I got them all the way around. Okay, when you pick the magnet up to clean it, if you don't remember where you put the magnet back, that's where it came from. If you can see how it's shaped, so the magnet was here. Okay, I'm going to go under the car and clean the area of the transmission where the gasket touches so that it's clean, and show you guys how to put the filters back in, and we're gonna bolt everything back up and put all trans. All right guys, so I am back under the truck because I needed to clean up my area. I just cleaned around the transmission. I scraped everything off with a little razor blade. It took some time, but it did work. Remember that plastic on the bottom does not stop transmission fluid. I guess the transmission fluid ate through the plastic, so it got all over the ground. But it wasn't a whole bunch, so it's better than nothing. Now what I'm fixing to do is I'm going to pull out this little grommet in here and start putting everything back together. Alright guys, so what I had to do was I had to take a flathead screwdriver and kind of just angle it here and take a hammer and hit this to bend this to get this out. See? Yeah, there you go. So that is out. I guess that's made of metal. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the new one in and make sure we get it seated. And then we'll go back to putting the filters in. So I got the other one in, and I'm going to tap just a little bit to get this seated. I'm gonna keep hitting it until I kind of get it seated. I think I'm gonna take like a flathead and just tap around it with it. So I'm gonna basically take the where is it? The flathead here and just keep tapping here. Just keep tapping around until I get this thing seated. Okay. All right. Give me a second. All right, guys. So I got it up in there. I had to play with it a little bit. I lubed it up. I took some of the transmission fluid and went around the actual little gasket or whatever, and then I kind of worked one side in and just tapped around it until I got it in there. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put the filter in here. So I'm gonna put the filter goes in that hole, in the hole right. Hold up. The filter goes in this hole right here. Okay. So put it in that hole and then wiggle it around until we get it. There we go. Make sure you seat it all the way till it's flat. It has like a little drop down area on it and it'll hit it. Once it hits it, it's good. And then I'm going to put this up and put the screw in it, and I'll be back. So I got it seated at the back, and then I am tightening the T25 here just a little bit. Okay, so now that's good enough. All right, so I got that in, and the next thing I need to do is put the cylinder filter in. Alright guys, so what I did was there was a what is it? This right here. This is from the old filter. It was actually up in here. I twisted it out because the new one came with one, and I got that one in here, so that's in there, right? And then what I'm gonna do is start putting this new filter in. Okay, I'm gonna tighten that, and you're gonna hand tighten this. But what I'm gonna do is, since I have a tool, I'm gonna take the tool, put it on it, turn it the opposite way, and get it tight. So it needs to go to the right. Flip it this way, put it on. And I'm just tightening it on there. That's probably good enough. Let me see. Yeah, that's good enough. Another thing is, when you put this on, there's a little seal on the opposite side of it. Take a little transmission fluid and rub around that seal. Mine was kind of wet already, so when I stuck it in there, it already lubed it, so it's okay. Okay, So all that's done, and the only thing I have to do now is put the transmission pan back on. Alright, so I got the oil pan on. I only put about 3 screws in. 4. I put the one that is here. Let's see. I put that one in, and then I did the ones that were on the back side, but they're not tight, they're just down, and then the rest of them are still loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in a star pattern, like here, over here, here, and then over there, and then just to get the whole thing tight at the same time. Like, you don't want it to be tight over here and loose over there and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you go on like a star pattern, kind of like how you put a wheel on for your car. You don't go around in a circle. You want a star pattern just to make sure it's flat. Alright, so I'm going to do that, and then we'll be finished, and all I got to do is put the transmission fluid in. Alright guys, so I got all the bolts, the 8mm bolts for the transmission pan down, and I'm going to click them off. Alright, that's what it said on Google, so I'm clicking them all off to that, and then after that we're going to start topping it off. Alright guys, so I got everything torqued down to the specs. Everything's down. Now all we got to do is fill and drive. Okay guys, so I filled up this 5 quart oil container with transmission fluid, right? So I filled it all the way up to 5 quarts, and I still have probably like a half a quart in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5 quarts of transmission fluid and let the car warm up a little bit, and then I'm going to put in half of the Lucas transmission fix. Now my transmission is not slipping or anything like that, but a lot of people say that this stuff works really good to recondition your transmission also. So I'm gonna put the transmission fluid in and go from there. Now I got Castrol Transmax ATF plus 4. That's what I got. Okay. Other people get what they like. I like Castrol. So ATF plus 4. That's the type transmission that you need in this vehicle. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pour the 5 quarts in. Alright guys, so I got the 5 quarts in, and now I'm putting in the Lucas transmission fix. I just want you to see how thick this stuff is. This stuff is like very, very thick. So it takes time to get this to go into the transmission. I'm just almost finished. This is the last little bit, and then after that I'm gonna start it up. Alright, I'm gonna finish letting this pour in, and then we'll get it started. Alright guys, I got everything poured in. Transmission's changing so much better. No more snatching every now and again. When I'm putting it in reverse, it's running great. Alright guys, this is J.O.A.T.D, and I'm out. Alright guys, so I got everything installed. I drove the truck for at least, I say about 10 miles, and it sat overnight, and I don't have any leaks whatsoever. All I gotta do is clean up the old residue from the first leak. Transmission filters and the transmission gasket is changed. Alright guys, have a good one.